Namaskaram. Dear devotees, each day is a precious gift, and the words of saints remind us not to postpone spiritual practice. In our lives, we often read a lot, listen to many discourses, and gather knowledge. But do we pause to reflect, contemplate, and put it into practice? Saints say that true wisdom is not in reading more, but in living even a little of what we learn. Today's Pravachan guides us on how to make our lives fruitful through simple yet deep devotion. What is Maya? That which exists without God is Maya. Everything that is visible and perishable is Maya. As long as we practice nama-smarana, we are out of the snare of Maya. When we forget God and nama, we fall under the influence of Maya. The essence of anything is in doing it, not just listening to it or telling about it. Howsoever you describe nirguna, it will not be possible to comprehend nirguna. We should therefore visualize and worship saguna. One who says, I worship nirguna, does not really know what nirguna is, because in nirguna there remains no one even to tell this. One gentleman told me that he had read all books on Vedanta. I said to him, then you must have achieved contentment. On this he replied, that is the only thing which I have not achieved. Of what use then has his entire reading been? What can we then get from studying Vedanta? Let us practice simple and easy devotion. Surrender yourself single-mindedly and completely to God. Practice nama-smarana. You will get everything. Unless you practice what you read in sacred books, the reading is futile. Do not read merely for the sake of reading. It adversely affects your sadhana, and you start developing pride over your reading. Therefore, read only a little, contemplate and act on it. If you spend even a small part of the day in the remembrance of God, the entire day will pass in the same mood of awareness of God. Extending days into months, months into years, and years forming the life, your whole life will pass in the continuous remembrance of God. You know, you should not be fond of family life itself, but should be fond of your duties therein. It's holy to do your duties, but you really shouldn't get involved in attachment to family life. You should, in your heart, belong only to God. If you earnestly remember God, He will definitely keep you happy and contented. To belong to God is honestly to be happy and contented in life. Have profound faith in God and do only what He likes. That is, in fact, the essence of Paramartha. No one knows when this body may fall. Never say, therefore, I shall practice nama when I am old. Start right now. Karaikkal Ammaiyar, one of the great women saints of Tamil Nadu, beautifully lived the message of read little, contemplate, and act. She was born as a householder and was deeply devoted to Lord Shiva. Once, her husband sent home 2 mangoes. Ammaiyar offered one to a hungry devotee of Shiva and joyfully gave the other to her husband. Later, when her husband asked for the second mango, she prayed sincerely to Lord Shiva, and miraculously, a divine mango appeared in her hand, sweeter than any fruit on earth. When her husband realized this, he was awestruck, but instead of joy, pride and worldly attachment overcame him. He abandoned her, unable to see her as an ordinary wife after witnessing her divine grace. Ammaiyar, however, was not disturbed. She reflected deeply, all worldly relations are fleeting. My true belonging is only to Lord Shiva. She renounced worldly life, walked to Mount Kailasa on her head out of humility, and spent the rest of her life singing the glories of Shiva with pure devotion. Her life teaches us that devotion is not about reading or knowing more. It is about living with faith and surrender. Karaikkal Ammaiyar acted upon her devotion and became one of the immortal saints who inspire us to this day. Beloved devotees, let us not postpone our devotion to tomorrow. Reading many scriptures is of little use unless we put even one teaching into practice. Like Karaikkal Ammaiyar, let us surrender completely to the Lord, chant His name daily, and live with simplicity and sincerity. If we practice even a little with full heart, it will transform our entire life into a stream of devotion. May we all begin today, this very moment, to live what we learn.